Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you and welcome to the Auditorium of Future Motive. This is Barbara Pedrotti and I will be with you for the entire day. This is going to be a non-stop day. We're going to talk about Future Motive, that is to say Digital Expo and Conference 2020. So this is going to be full of meetings with the representatives of the economy and the industry, especially the automobile aftermarket industry, as well as a number of representatives of company. So we're going to talk about the present and also about our future, because Future Motive is the evolution of Autopromotec conference. And you probably remember the editions we had in the past in 2016 and 2018. So in this particular year, we'll be together in a digital environment, completely new. And we'll be together also to have a look at the future, a future that also includes huge challenges. And in order to talk about challenges, I'd like to invite the first speaker, the CEO of Future Motive, Renzo Servadei. Hello, hi everyone. So, welcome, first of all. Welcome to our, let's say, studio talks about present and future. So today we're going to talk about different topics and also how this period has changed us a little bit. And it has led us to master digitalization, which we certainly knew, but maybe with some detachment in the past. Wonderful, because these are technologies that we had in the past, but maybe we were lazy, or maybe we were used not to use them, whereas now we have had the need to become digital. So this is going to be something that we will use in the future as well. So what we are learning now is going to be useful in the future when hopefully soon this difficult moment ends. Okay, let's now move on to provide some pieces of information to our friends. So we are in the auditorium, but there's much more. Yeah, this is a virtual experience. So it is not the usual conference when you just have, for instance, the speakers. Whereas now this is an auditorium, but it is possible now to use the bar that you see at the bottom of a screen. It's possible to access the stands, the exhibitors, the media, or if you have any doubts, you can access the help desk. So it's digital. Definitely as if we were in a physical conference, but with the new tools we have at our disposal. So you basically see the towers of the fair. It's a virtual world, but we are real. We are very much real. So, but it's also important to consider the fact of speaking live now. Yeah, of course, now we have these stands and it's possible to interact with our exhibitors, it's possible to chat with them, it's possible to see their contributions, because in these moments technology is going ahead. So as to the exhibit hall, of course, sponsors. We have companies that once again wanted to accompany us. Yeah, of course, they are not exhibitors, of course. We are an association, so these are companies with which we share research, we share the promotional initiatives. So there are 50 companies, and we had to start with 50 only, and I apologize because we could not include all of them, but there are high-tech companies that will present new and important things in the virtual stands. So go and visit them, because this is going to be very interesting with interesting products. We talked about a non-stop program. So it is also possible to choose, for instance, what you want to follow and make a sort of selection. Yes, also because we try to be digital in the organization of the event. So, of course, we're going to provide some contributions from the technological standpoint, because we have a lot of novelties and news, but also from the approach standpoint. So we're going to have some contributions relating to logistics or the emotional side, and also the technical side, artificial intelligence. So we should be, following all of the different sections and contributions. Of course, at a certain point, someone will have to make a choice. Yeah, but if we were to make a choice, because of course you have to make a choice, is there anything that you'd like to recommend, anything that you don't have to miss. No, no, I will not tell you anything about it. Honestly, I would listen to all of the contributions, but then, of course, I realized that, for instance, there are those that are interested in diagnostics and those that, for instance, are interested in care repairs or. But everything is going to be definitely interesting. So new business models, but also the digitalization and how it changed our lives, and also how some difficulties can also be seen in a positive way in order to improve oneself. Yeah, of course. I agree, because we always think that sometimes we have gray areas, but all of the major crises led to important new starts, and technology never stops. Technology speeds up, so those that are able to treasure technological innovation, I'm sure, will have a future, an important future, not only from the economic standpoint, but also a future of recovery and a future of new hope. This is what we like to stress with these contributions that are so important. Okay, so Renzo, this is going to be an important day full of contributions. I'll see you at the end, so enjoy. Thank you. Thank you so much. And at this point, I'd like to welcome our next speakers. So we're going to have the governor of the Emilia-Romagna region, Stefano Bonaccini. But before giving the floor to him, I'd like to invite Mauro Severi, who's the chair of AICA, so the Italian Association of Car Manufacturers and Equipment. And in this case, also we have the Italian Association of Tire Manufacturers. So now, Mr. Severi, welcome. I see you ready to go. So you have the floor. Good morning, dear friends and dear President Bonaccini. Good morning. Thank you so much for this digital initiative. And of course, we had named it after future motive, and this is going to be a sort of analysis of the aftermarket of the automotive sector. But sometimes we make forecasts, we analyze the future, we provide main guidelines or indications for the future and for future novelties. As you know, this is a difficult moment, and it's very difficult to make forecasts for the future. But as you know, as entrepreneurs, we are optimists, and we always need to try and see the positive things and also find the right occasions also in emergency situations. So in order to have a thorough picture within the future motive sector, we've tried to include a lot of contributions, especially on this occasion and in this important initiative we are carrying out. So contributions with different analyses and points of view aim to provide a practical approach relating to the prospects of our sector. So there will be companies that will provide their contributions, but also contributions from associations and universities. There will be sharing with us their points of view. We are pleased that everyone accepted this challenge with a great deal of enthusiasm, and I thank all of them warm-heartedly. There are speakers that come from the other side of the world, and I'd like to thank them. And I wish to thank the sponsors and the press. And of course, these are the things that we have to provide. And I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. We have 50 virtual stands. And in this way, the sector operators can find technical solutions and suggestions, and also somehow be involved in the topics we are tackling in this conference. The key words for the future include training, information, and search for new products and equipment. So collaboration is paramount, and also collaboration among sector operators. Then investing in research and training and education. This is the purpose of our associations and companies. And it's also aimed at having a better future for our young people. So in this moment, we have to use at best the time available to train our staff relating to the main novelties and needs of mobility, and also to have technical data available and to be suitably equipped to face the new challenges in terms of, for instance, maintenance and manufacturing. So those that are able to grasp this challenge, I'm sure, will be strengthened by the pandemic and by this moment of crisis. Based on the forecasts, there will be no downsizing of our fleet. So at the end of the pandemic, we are confident that there will be an economic recovery, but also a recovery of hope. So based not only on optimism, but also hope that is based on the fact that we, as Autopromotec, will try to implement through initiatives like this one. So our entrepreneurs and our craftsmen always did their best, especially in the moments of crisis, and Italians as well did their best, especially when Italians have to be committed and involved in order to overcome difficulties. And I'm sure, because I am an optimist, as we always say, that at the end of the pandemic, we'll be able to have a new start. And the Italian enterprises and the Italian manufacturing sector, which we should not forget, we are ranking second at European level in this framework. And we often forget that we rank second after Germany. Well, I'm sure we can further develop our technologies and collaborate with the other countries, and also to continue to provide labor opportunities to our young people, our operators, but also a better and better future in the automotive sector. Thank you so much. Thank you. Since I see you here, I'd like to ask you for a final thing. So is it right to say that this link, awareness and hope, is it the winning approach? Well, this has always been the engine of our country, the driving wheel of our country. So after the Second World War, we were in a tragic situation, but Italy succeeded in developing a manufacturing sector, which is unbelievable, extraordinary, especially if you think about our situation at that time, 50 years ago and more. So with the commitment and the strength and determination of our people, we've succeeded to become a huge entrepreneurial country and to provide well-being and opportunities. Our companies work to improve, for instance, our social conditions and improve the well-being of our customers and also of our sector as a whole. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll be back to you in a while, but now I'd like to welcome the governor of the Emilia-Romagna region, Stefano Bonaccini. Good morning, and thank you for being with us today. And in a digital platform, but we're going to talk about an English channel available. So we are virtually available everywhere. But as to the automotive components, we are in Emilia-Romagna, so your region. Hello. Hello. Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'll spend a limited amount of time with you because I have to participate in another meeting, but I wanted to greet all of you. When it comes to the automotive sector, of course, we have to talk about our region, Emilia-Romagna, and we are certified as one of the, or better, the World Motor Valley. And we've had a period in which we hosted, and this is unprecedented in the history of, for instance, Formula One and motorbike. We had two World GPs, one in Misano Adriatico, and then also the Formula One Grand Prix in Imola. And now we are negotiating with the International Federation. Please allow me to say one thing, and this is a reason of pride for all of us, because honestly, Stefano Domenicali, who up to a while ago was the managing director of Lamborghini, has been appointed on the lead of World Formula One. And I always tell him that it's going to be the Bernie Ecclestone of the future, but I really believe this is going to be the case. So while waiting for Ferrari to be back, let's say, when it comes to sports, Formula One, because as to the rest, of course, we have a lot of satisfactions outside of the tracks. But we wanted to take into consideration this specific region where automotive is not just providing job opportunities and economic growth, but also when you say Motor Valley, often when I travel around the world, I never say I come from Modena, but I just say Maserati, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Ducati, Dallara, Toro Rosso, and of course someone who's a little aware of, let's say, this sector, and there are a lot of people that really, really love engines in general, where they immediately understand where I come from. So this means 18,000 enterprises, and it means over 100,000 jobs. And it means, most of all, apart from the extraordinary brands we are proud of when we hear them, it means a lot of small and medium enterprises, especially crafts, that are part and parcel of this region. And this is thanks to their commitment, their work. Some extraordinary entrepreneurs that do things that cannot be done elsewhere. So if we are, for instance, dealing with China, and this is an opportunity, but the fact that we are talking about it, the possible relations with China, well, this shed light on how important we are, and an important Chinese companies thinking about investing in our region to produce electric vehicles. Well, this means that they understand that here there's a human capital and also a history that no one has in the world. And I say this because, well, just a few months ago, in Campo Galliano, in the small village where I live, an exhibition was organized, and some people, over 80 years old people, crafts that with their hands, and I don't know exactly what type of education they had, but with their hands and their way of being so smart, with some sand, they were putting some materials there, and they've organized, for instance, some important frames. And of course, and chassis of cars. And it's from there, from the wish not to complain, but just to work. Well, that is where our supply chain has originated. So this is what we have to cherish. This is what we have to thank, because this allows us to have in our region a sector as mechatronics and engines and automotive. Well, please remember that before COVID, this exceeded 40 billion euro in terms of exports. And for this reason, Emilia-Romagna is the region that is far better than Lombardy and Veneto in terms of, for instance, per head export share. And I remember when we presented Motor Valley, it also became the brand, and has become the brand and also a reason for attracting tourists. Because, for instance, anyone that wants to come and visit our jewels from everywhere in the world, from our circuits to our events and motorbikes and public and private museums and private collections. Well, we're talking about 30 opportunities, 30 places you can visit, which is unique. And recently, many companies accepted to open their doors and also to open the doors of their factories and see the workers or the designers while they're working. But this is a unique experience. And this is something that you only see here in this region. And we did two additional things. We are the only place in the world that over the last 4 years, by putting together the 4 universities we have in Emilia-Romagna, including the University of Modena that Mauro Severi loves so much, which we are strengthening, by the way, in terms of services provided and support to students. Well, the 4 universities with the 10 companies like Ferrari, Maserati, Ducati, Lamborghini, Dallara, Pagani, Toro Rosso, as Formula One, Magneti Marelli and Doxa HBA from Modena. So someone said this was impossible. We were said, oh, they are competing with one another. No, we did it. This is the only place in which, over the last 4 years in our universities, we have new engineers that graduate because these are 2-year master courses. And these are engineers that work in the automotive sector in addition to the electric sector and electric vehicles, and this has become, of course, a main focus. So there's no problem here. There's no brain drain here. And I went to visit them a few months ago in Faenza, for instance. Alfa Tauri, that also won the Formula One race, the CEO from Germany, and that is Germany, which is a giant of export, of course, the main country in Europe. Well, he told me, well, we decided to come here and also to keep production here and manufacturing here. Well, they moved from 80 to over 600 employees. And they said, because what we find here is available nowhere. And also the training you provide is unique. Well, if Germany tells us so, because they can obviously teach everyone when it comes to training. And this is where we have to continue to work. And we are about to sign an agreement for labor and climate with all of the stakeholders of the region, and this is unique in Italy. So with all of the social partners, including universities and unions and business organizations, so where automotive is central when it comes to the promotion and development of this region, because it's clear that we have to aim toward an increasingly sustainable world, and investments when it comes to technologies have to be there. Digitalization and robotics and electric will have to be there. I'll see you later. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Bonaccini. Let us go back now to the supply chain of transformation and production and manufacturing. So, Mr. Severi, you have the floor now. Well, the enthusiasm of Mr. Bonaccini is the best guarantee we can have, and also the collaboration between public organizations and our companies and associations. So I'm even more optimist for the future of our enterprises in our region. So really, he is so passionate. I just wanted to say that the unbelievable thing, which was also mentioned by Mr. Bonaccini, is the fact that we succeeded in organizing some activities and a number of companies were established, which are, for instance, complementary when it comes to the components of Germany and other countries which manufacture for instance, finished products when it comes to automotive related activities. So without the contribution from our companies, these large foreign producers would not be able to complete their work. So we've become essential for the European economy, and this helps to overcome some problems. And we are working a lot to share this information with the other associations and with other organizations, involving therefore all of the activities that take place in workshops, and also because we know that the main components come from Italy. If you open, for instance, a car and manufactured in a foreign country, most of the components are manufactured in Italy. So this is a valley, an extraordinary valley, in which we do manufacture most of the items needed in our sector. So we, of course, need to look for alternative energies, and we have to improve the situation of the environment. But our aim is to improve the quality of life. So not just the economy, not just thinking about profits, because otherwise it would be cold and impersonal. So since we are on Earth for a while, we have to enjoy the results of our work. So it's our way, let's say, for dealing with our activities and for the services like the aftermarket services, which also include a social aspect that is fundamental in my opinion. And most of all, we have to consider the importance of our enterprises in the automotive sector. So thank you.